Well, welcome in to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. I'm Landon. I got Austin here. My man just celebrated a birthday. He's with us on a Friday, December 13th. And Austin, it's transfer portal season, man. So we're gonna in this episode, we're gonna be talking about a couple of players from Mississippi State that have hit the portal that are a surprise. What is it on Monday? You and I, Austin, talked about is Jeff Lebby gambling a little bit, bringing in Jackson Arnold with MVB, and Michael Van Buren, of course, ends up hitting the portal. Still no sign of Jackson Arnold on the campus yet. Crazy stuff going on. So we are going to get to that in just a moment. Say hello though, Austin, before we talk about our ad partners.
Yeah, this is an absolutely insane time for college football, especially as a Mississippi State fan. The ups and downs, a lot of downs to be honest, but the ups and downs of the past just coupled, past like 72 hours has been absolutely insane. Just, listening to, what there's so much smoke, going around on what's true, what's just it's so crazy. It's a wild time, but we're here. We got to just I don't want to say suffer, but we gotta, live on through this next couple weeks and then get into the more into the off season.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the bad news, some of the good news, and then some of the news just kind of inconspicuous, kind of stuff that we're just like we really don't know what is going to come of it. So we'll talk about all those things. Before we do that, we want to let you know that My Dogs Are Barking is brought to you in part by ARPA's Coffee and Bar in Starkville. ARPA's understands that great food and drinks are best enjoyed in the company of friends and loved ones. Their warm and inviting atmosphere creates a perfect backdrop for laughter, conversation, and great memories. Whether you're seeking a good spot to catch up over coffee, a lively gathering place for special occasions, or just a good late night hangout spot, their friendly staff is dedicated to ensure your experience is nothing short of exceptional. Located in the heart of Starkville in the Cotton District, mention My Dogs Are Barking and you get 15% off of your order. It is going to be great stuff. Austin, we got all these huge NIL deals being thrown around. The numbers seem to be inflated, every single day for the going rate of quarterbacks. And we're going to talk about that in a second. People over here getting rich, but hey, what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi, Edward Jones advisor serving clients in the area and across the state. Count on him for financial strategies that can help support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact him today at 662-563-9843. And together, you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. All right, Austin. Well, this has been we knew that this phase of the portal was going to be as wild as it will be next year. Revenue sharing will kick in, so it'll hopefully be a little bit more under control. We expected more people to hit the portal than ever, expected to be crazier than ever, and it has been for Mississippi State alone. That's all we're talking about today. Wide receiver Mario Craver was one of the first ones to hit the portal for Mississippi State. Craver was really a deep ball specialist, and he has entered the portal. It seems to be somewhat mutual. Craver, we won't get into a lot of things, but just he had some issues while at Mississippi State, but really talented guy. I just don't think, all things considered, all money to the table, you spend that much for a guy that caught 17 passes, So Craver hits the portal. The next piece to drop to me is the most devastating one, because MVB is something we kind of expected to happen. It's weird and it kind of sucks. But then Kevin Coleman hits the portal, who is Mississippi State's best player by a long shot last season. This will be his fourth school in 4 years, expected to go back home to Missouri. What's your kind of your takeaway from those three guys, Austin?
Yeah, it's rough. I didn't see Kevin Coleman hit the portal. I thought he was going to go into the draft, but and then we were hearing rumors that he was going to come back, and then you texted me and said, I think he's gonna leave. So that really hurt. I saw Craver leaving, to be honest. Just from the past week, I thought he was going to leave. The guy only had 17 catches, but like you said, deep ball specialist. He was able to, so much speed, so much absolute speed, just, burnt every corner and was able to get open. And he has a lot of potential. He had some, off the field, stuff that he has to deal with, especially if he wants to go to a bigger blue blood school. and like a team like Georgia, somewhere, obviously, Georgia, they have a lot of problems with character over there, but just other places like Alabama, he has to clean that up a little bit. But yeah, he only had 3 touchdowns. This is a guy we can replace. I mean, he's only a freshman. It does suck because I think he has a very high ceiling, extremely high ceiling. But this is a guy that we can replace next year, and especially with a guy like Jeff Lebby who can bring in this offense. And he brought in Mario Craver. That was a Jeff Lebby guy. And next up, MVB. That one hurts just because we don't have that insurance policy of we're going to get Jackson Arnold. We do not have that, and we don't know. If you would have told me for sure, MVB's leaving, but we're getting Jackson Arnold, I would have felt much better about it. But it's a little scary. It's a little dicey just because we don't know what's going to become of it. It's if you're a Mississippi State fan, it's a little panicking. I don't know if we've really discussed it too much, but Blake Shapen announced who's going to come back, so we do have that to make us feel a little bit better. But not having MVB and then not having another, Chris Parson into the portal now. MVB is literally just Blake Shapen there now, and that's kind of a scary thing. And just obviously true freshman Kamario Taylor, and then the one that hurts me the most, Kevin Coleman. Just a guy. I don't know what it is with him. 4 teams in 4 years. That's crazy to me. That's just crazy times we're living in right now. But Kevin he's a guy. I'll say it right now. I'm looking in the portal. I don't think there's a guy that we're making progress towards that can replace him. And he is a unbelievable athlete. He's an unbelievable, obviously an SEC caliber, one of the best players. I think he was number 4 in the SEC in receiving yards. Just an unbelievable talent. We haven't had a wide receiver of his caliber here. I don't remember a guy who could just make plays happen all the time, who was just a target every single game. And we're going to miss him a lot. That's not a guy we're going to replace. And that's just, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot that we've had to deal with the past couple of days.
Yeah, it's just so wild, man. There's no, I don't know, and I guess some teams have already seen what this is. State really has not lost a lot of players due to NIL. Xavion Thomas is a player that from what State folks have said, at least, that State was willing to match what LSU gave, but he just wanted to go back home to LSU. He's from Louisiana, and he ended up going to LSU. Ra Thomas, similar thing to where State offered him the most, but he gets to go to Georgia. So he goes to Georgia, and I imagine gets the same NIL for that. These situations, it doesn't seem like State's been outbid really outside of I just don't think that they want to do that for Craver. And MVB allegedly is asking 1.5. And look, at the end of the day, State won 2 games last season. And so on one hand, it's like, you might as well pony up, see what you can do. But you won 2 games last season. He started most of your games. He's a true freshman. That's a lot of cash. Some of the issues that are being thrown around, and we were recording this early on Friday morning, so things will definitely change throughout the day. But some of the things reported right now is that Jackson Arnold's asking price has gone up and up and up and up and up, and to the point where it's almost about to double what MVB was at one point. It might have already gotten to that point. So it's just wild to think about all the things that are kind of put into it. And again, what we talked about Craver, Michael Van Buren, I get it. It's unfortunate, but we mentioned it on Monday. It's a gamble, man. Because at the end of the day, here's what it is. This is the biggest risk. You ask, Michael Van Buren knows that State is wanting another quarterback. He gets his feelings hurt. He leaves. State misses out on the guy that they were trying to get. And it's I think I tweeted this the other day or said it. I don't remember which one I did, but it's like having someone that you were going to go to prom with, all right? And you're like, well, I like them, but I'm going to go ahead and ask this other person to prom as well. And then the person you were going with was like, forget this, I'm out of here. And they leave. And the person you asked just goes ahead and says no. And then you know what you're doing? You're dancing with yourself. It's rough, man. State could be in a real issue. But again, it's Friday morning. It's early. Still got the cough. It's wild. Now we will get into some good news. And then we will talk about some of the people that are potentially for the future. I did want to mention, you mentioned that there's no one that can replace Kevin Coleman. And I agree with you. He has got a twitch that I don't think we've seen at wide receiver for Mississippi State, at least since probably Chad Bumpus. It's the quick twitch, run after catch, just really, really good. But I think State can bring in several receivers and give them some options. But I'm with you. There's not like a clear number one. Jordan Mosley, probably not your clear number one. A good and solid wide receiver. But we'll talk about some guys that are visiting next week that I think have some potential to at least help out with that if they're able to do that. And they also have a guy who's on a visit as we speak from Michigan State. So we will get to that in just a moment. Did want to get to Mississippi State. It's funny, out of all the positions that they could be doing anything at all in the transfer portal, the only spot they've hit so far, Austin, is on defense. Mississippi State got a Red Hibbler, which is a phenomenal name. Guy, he's from Louisville, Mississippi, but he was at NC State the past couple of years. He led them in sacks in 2023 with 6.5 sacks. Did not play a lot last season. It looks as if he shut the season down. But State's going to get some help on the interior. He's a really big guy. That's going to help out State a lot defensively. And then also Jerron Manning, the safety from ODU, Old Dominion, played well in their matchup against the only SEC team they played, South Carolina. So State gets some help on that side of the ball. Am I forgetting anybody else on the defensive side, Austin? I feel like there's one other guy.
No, there was a guy from Kennesaw State, but that's the only three. That's the only three commits that we have right now.
That's right. Yeah, there's three that's there, and then there's several that are visiting at this moment, and it's including several that are there's another player who's an edge player. I won't say the name, but it appears that that State ought to be able to lock him up today. But State seems like they're going to get some help on that side of the ball.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I mean, and that's something that we've talked about literally every single week on this show this season. I mean, we've got to get help on defense. And I think we're working on that. People are, kind of complaining a little bit about like commitments, and we're not getting these commits. All these guys are visiting, not getting commits. But I think we're tied for like second most commits right now. And nobody's committing just because they all want to go to their visits. We gotta be patient. But yeah, these commits are gonna be slowly coming in. Just keep checking your phone. And it's gonna be good. But yeah, Red Hibbler. I mean, we had 10 sacks this season, guys. In 2023, he had 6.5 sacks. I mean, you got to put that into perspective. I will say a little bit character issue. I think he was in, the doghouse with NC State last year. I don't think he played a down for him last year. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right this season. And I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was I think he was in trouble. And then obviously, Jamil Burrows, I think he got in trouble at maybe Alabama or Miami. So hopefully, we're bringing all these transfers in. Hopefully, it's not a big, locker rooms, bad situation, but I think we'll be good. But, and then, yeah, this guy, Jerron Manning, we had to get him. This is a massive get. We got Tony Mitchell in that secondary. We got Isaac Smith, and now we, got a pair in with him. We got to get a couple more guys. We're not there yet. Obviously, we want to be a good defense, and we want to be a complete defense, but we're on the right path defensively. I'm feeling a lot better about this.
I did want to give some notes on Red Hibbler. So 2022, he was at he went the JUCO route as number 13 overall player. Played for NC State in 2013, had 6.5 sacks, and then after playing in 4 games in 2024, so like this season.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if he played at all.
Yeah, he played in 4 games, but then was just not listed on the roster. So it would appear that yeah, he got into some sort of issues. Yeah, and I'll say this: there's a potential thing with some of those players. Randy Charlton transferred from UCF after getting in trouble. That you can, especially if you're around a good culture, like you can turn some of those things around. So State's gonna, but State needs. They need all of the help that they can get, especially after last season's defensive effort was so poor. We're gonna take a quick ad break from Neil and hear in from him, and then we will talk about some good news in the portal.
All MPW digital podcasts are brought to you by our friends at Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana. Parish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it remarkably well. The doctor is introducing their new go-to IPA, Dr. Juice. It's a highly crushable juice bomb, dry hopped with a blend of their favorite hand-selected hops from the Yakima Valley. In Washington, Dr. Juice's drinkability is sneaky good considering it clocks in at 6% ABV. The pour glows a rich cantaloupe hue with a thick frosted haze, soft mouthfeel, an aroma and taste that's full of passion fruit, papaya, and blood orange, making it drink like a glass of freshly squeezed juice. They also have Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA brewed with obscene quantities of hand-selected Citra hops from Yakima Valley. Expect pungent grapefruit flavors and aromas, tropical fruit, less harsh bitterness than most IPAs. Again, it's Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you get your beer, check out Parish. Make sure that you look for them because any beer that you get from Parish is going to be absolutely outstanding. Thank you from MPW Digital.
Austin, if State misses out on Jackson Arnold, which could happen, we'll see. So today we're going to know a lot. They do have another quarterback that is coming in and going to be visiting on Wednesday and Thursday. 5-star quarterback Luke Kromanoke. We'll see if I said that right. I don't know. Luke Kromanoke, the 5-star from Florida State freshman, will be visiting later on this week. So it appears, yeah, you're right. Blake Shapen is going to be on the roster. Kamario Taylor and a transfer quarterback, but this is a guy they could bring in. But I don't really know if he's a guy that's going to play immediately. Do you?
Yeah, I don't know. If he comes in, I can guarantee that Blake Shapen's going to be the starter week 1 if he can stay healthy. I think this is going to be a guy who's going to bring depth to us this season, and then this is going to be a guy that Jeff Lebby wants to start a year or two before Kamario Taylor because he still has maybe 2 or 3 years of eligibility. I think he's a true freshman this year, and yeah, I mean, he was on a 2-10 Florida State team. Obviously, you know, a team that's in our great scenario. I mean, you know, he didn't really play a whole lot. You know, Brock Glenn played, and obviously DJU played for what was that a horrendous season by the Seminoles. So he's coming in and he wants to, you know, build a culture of his own because you know he has I think 3 years left, and he probably wants to be the face of a football team. And you know what a great way to do in the SEC. I think that would be great for him. And so I can almost guarantee Blake Shapen's going to be the starter if we do get him, but I'm feeling much better with him than with nobody else. So I would love a former 5-star quarterback, Jackson Arnold or Tate, to come in here for us.
Yeah, it'd be huge. Now, here's the thing with Shapen. I know folks are saying, you know, he got hurt, but like he still lost 3 games as the starter. He was the guy who played in the Toledo game. So I'm with you. Like I know like people like the consistency, and he's a leader and he plays really hard, but like he's been injured almost every season of his career outside of I think the first one, you know, and just a secret, you know, the body doesn't heal as you get older. So I don't know, man. I feel like State has to make some sort of big jump at quarterback because Shapen, as much as I like him, he's just probably going to end up hurt. The defensive side of things, I expect things to be better for State. One of the guys, again, it's Friday, so no one's committed just yet, but Travion Barnes, who was I believe would be the Sun Belt Player of the Year, had 129 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions last season. At linebacker for FIU is a guy that they are on a official visit. I guess it wrapped yesterday or wrapped today. It's weird to know when we're posting that and when we're not. Nevaeh Sanders, the defensive end from Northern Illinois, and in Malik Charles, defensive lineman from West Georgia. Chris Murray is an edge rusher from Sam Houston State. I like him a lot. He just wrapped up his visit. And then also currently on a visit right now is all SEC freshman linebacker Jalen Smith from Tennessee. So like the defense, it's very weird, man. Like the defensive side of things, defense is getting some players, which is exactly what we talked about all season long. You mentioned it. They need it. The offensive side of things is where you're starting to wonder, like, oh, geez, is this team about to just be have Blake Shapen at quarterback? And look, we saw it with Chris Parson. We do not need a situation where Kamario Taylor plays extensive minutes as a freshman. He needs time to develop and learn. And you know, kind of learn the playbook and not have to worry about stepping in and playing, you know, immediately in in this scenario. So defensive side of things, it's good. But here's where I want to end the conversation though, Austin. If State ends up missing, MVB's transferring. If State ends up missing on Jackson Arnold, State ends up having to bring in a backup quarterback and start Blake Shapen. What will Mississippi State's record be next season, knowing the schedule that they're gonna have to take on?
Man, I hate being negative. I wish people know. I hate being negative, but we're going 3-9. I mean, you look at our roster. I mean, we're beating, Southern Miss. We're beating Alcorn. We're beating NIU. We're not beating anybody else. We're Arizona State. I mean, a dang playoff team. They're not beating us.
Are we beating Southern Miss and NIU?
With Blake Shapen, I believe in Blake Shapen. If we can get some guys, get some good wide receivers, I think we can. This defense gets good enough. I'm saying 3-9. Guys, I wish we could just put it in our Instagram. I wish we could have it everywhere that we have just tell every SEC team, hey, look at our schedule. Because it's freaking ridiculous. I'm so it's hard getting hyped for next season when we have an unbelievable hard schedule, and it's just so annoying. I mean, Texas didn't even win one ranked SEC game, right? And then we're over here we're playing everybody. It's just, 2025, not 2026 cannot come fast enough for the Bulldogs because this schedule is ridiculous. I wish I could just say it every single podcast because it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's horrendous. It's so bad. I don't know what Mississippi State did to deserve this schedule. But it is, Mississippi State fans, go look at it. Actually, don't go look at it. It will ruin your day because it's sad. But yeah, 2-10, 3-9 is going to be next season.
Yeah, it really is really rough. We'll have some time where we break down the schedule. Believe me, in the middle of it, we'll have plenty of time to break down the schedule, and go down every single game and give a detailed report of every single team that's there. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think 3-9, even that is, I don't know. It's like, how could State not win a game? Like, is Arkansas going to be that good next year? Like their whole team's leaving outside of Taylor Green, which I guess Taylor Green is the part that really matters. But, yeah, it's rough. Oh, also, man, I cannot remember the name, but State, I literally just remembered it. State has a wide receiver that's also currently visiting from Arkansas. Like a second I said Arkansas, I thought, oh yeah, who is it? Isaiah Tega?
Huh. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, 37 catches, 500 yards, and a touchdown for Arkansas this season. Awesome. So like that's a guy that can contribute. Get him, get DT Sheffield from North Texas, get Glover here from Michigan State. So you have several guys that can contribute, but I'm with you. Like, it's not Kevin Coleman. It's not a giant difference maker. But also, State's has to have a better running game to help out with that as well. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Here, the reason I asked you that question, Austin, about the record, is this the worst case scenario? It could be the iceberg that ends up sinking Jeff Lebby's ship if he misses out. If MVB leaves, he misses out on a quarterback. And State's just standing there with their hands up. That being said, we are all on the outside. We are not in the Leo Seal complex. We don't know all the conversations that are being had. I would just say give it some time before people are freaking out. But it's just, man, dude, people, you're not joking, man. People are freaking out. And I get it, man. It is a wild, wild world of college football. It really is.
It is just to go off that. I mean, people are just saying, crazy stuff. People talking about losing that just because of this hard schedule, we got to leave the conference because, we got to play better. These, worse teams to get a better record. The overreactions are crazy. People are being like, having a day. I just saw somebody in their Instagram bio maybe 10 minutes ago or their Twitter bio that said like it was some a date and said the day Mississippi State football died. And I'm just like this is crazy. People are saying like the day Mike Leach died, like Mississippi State will never have a better year, or like that was the end of Mississippi State. I mean, these people are going crazy. So we got to be the bearer of good news. We got to just find some good news.
Yeah, people need to chill, man. People need to chill. The defense looks like it will be a better product. But thus far, man, the transfer portal of Mississippi State has been wild to say the least. It has been an absolute ride. And you know what? This is just day number 4. So looking forward to more absolute craziness. We'll keep you updated. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, just at MyDawgsPod. Make sure you are subscribed to MPW Digital. I think we're at 10.6K subs on MPW Digital. Just every show is just doing so well, and so we're so thankful to be a part of it, for sure. And yeah, make sure you do that to keep in touch. And on Monday, we will have you an update about how this weekend has gone. Very excited about it. Mississippi State hoops taking on McNeese State in Tupelo. The Lady Dogs, Mississippi State women's hoops, is also playing in Tupelo. Mississippi State is they survived after their destruction of Pittsburgh. They survived a win over who was that the other day? Prairie View. Yeah, so it just completely lost my mind thinking about it. But hey, they still won the game. So this would be a huge quad 2 win if they beat McNeese State. And then have another huge opportunity against Memphis on the road. So that'll be a really that could be a quad 1 win. So State it's currently slotted as a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, which is really, really good, man. Really good. So State is in a good spot, but it's before SEC ball has officially tipped off. So oh, awesome. We need to share the story from the other night. So we live in Tuscaloosa. We'll finish with this. So we live in Tuscaloosa. So Austin and I and my wife, we go out to eat the other day, and just not thinking about where there's a really good chicken spot that's called Baumhauer's, and good wings and that kind of thing. So we go, and there's a lot of people there, and the stage is set up, and that's where like Coach DeBoer does his show at Alabama on during the football season. And there's a bunch of people there, and there's like radio people there. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And I'm wearing a Mississippi State. I think I had a baseball jersey on, and I have a hat on, and a bunch of Alabama people. And it's Nate Oates' basketball show. So many people are there. They're live on the radio, and I look like a 9th grader that's wanting to be rebellious wearing Mississippi State. I just threw it on. I was like, all right, let's go. And there's all these Alabama people everywhere, and I'm wearing Mississippi State stuff. And like the looks as I'm walking out, people are like, keeping their eye just right on me all the way through. I felt like a loser. So my wife and Austin walked a little bit ahead of me, so they didn't have to walk right beside me. So I get it. Anyway, it is good stuff. So that made me think about Alabama hoops there for a second. Well, we appreciate you guys so much for listening to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. Make sure you are subscribed here. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. And, man, let's follow in this transfer portal madness all together. And it is madness. And remember, as much as this is Austin had the salute. As much as this is rough, life is good. Enjoy some time with your family this week. Because, God willing, your family will never hit the transfer portal. Thanks so much for listening.